Today we're checking out a new pedal from a new company, the Devil Overdrive from Obsidian Audio. So plenty of you know who Taylor Danley is and his YouTube channel. Well, he has taken the step from just being an awesome YouTube guitar player and badass dude in general, and a guy I'm happy to call a buddy, and he has paired up with Daniel from Lischlerm to start his own company, Obsidian Audio Effects. And this is his first pedal from it, the Devil Overdrive. Definitely my aesthetic. And it's super edgy, totally edgelord, love it. So because I love Lischlerm and, both Taylor and Daniel are buddies of mine, I was really excited that they were doing this venture together, and so I wanted to support them. So as soon as these pre-orders went up, I decided to pre-order one myself. So I did buy this one. Now, Taylor did send one out to me a little bit early to check out, but this is still just the one that I paid for. So as you can see, there's definitely a lot going on here. It's definitely more than just your average tube screamer. To start with, this has 12 decibels more volume than a standard tube screamer, so this will definitely slam your amp pretty hard. Now you'll notice that there's several other controls instead of just a standard tone control. First of all, you'll notice that girth knob, which essentially is a low cut. So the more you turn it up, the less low cut you have, the more low end you're letting through, and the more you dial it back, the more you're engaging that low cut, the less low end that you're letting through. Now, instead of just a tone knob, you do have a bass, middle, and treble. Both of these will control their respective frequency ranges, plus or minus 16 dB, so it gives you a lot of tonal flexibility. The bass sits around 40 to 100 hertz. The mid-range is at 1000 hertz, which is, that classic tube screamer, kind of mid-range hump. That'll give you that extra push, pick attack, aggression. And then the high-end control sits around 4,000 to 10,000 hertz, like 4 to 10. So you can definitely get a lot of different tonal variety with this thing. Of course, you have a gain knob, but something else you'll notice here, which is another knob that sits right on the, it's a knob that sits on his knob. I don't know if that was intentional. Feels like it was. If not, it's fantastic, and I do think that there was a missed opportunity to put the girth knob there. What this knob is it is a control for the noise gate. Now, having a noise gate built into your boost is a pretty good idea and definitely really handy. Anytime you're boosting or gain stacking, you're definitely going to be adding noise. Plus, there's going to be noise from your pickups or other pedals or just rig in general that you're now boosting into your amplifier. So this cuts out the extra noise that's added, keeping everything nice and quiet for you. Kind of a twofer there, which I think is a really good idea. So that's all the features here. Now, as you were able to hear in the in-mix, this thing definitely added some aggression and cut to my EVH. So we're going to hear that outside of a mix all in the same step. This is going to be going into my EVH 5153 Stealth 50 watt. And then that's going to be going into my Two Notes Captor X, which has a DV77 and VM1265 IR blend. My own kind of custom blend. It's mostly the DV77, like 90% the DV77 and a little bit of the VM12 blended in. And I actually have that IR available now. You can follow my Dropbox link below if you want to check that out for yourself. And because this is an overdrive, I do want to hear how it performs as just a regular overdrive. So we're going to hear this go into the clean channel of my Friedman BE50 Deluxe. Again, going into that same IR blend, and with both amplifiers, I'm plugging into them with my Solar G-Type guitar, my G-Series, and that has Seymour Duncan Black Winners in it. Let's check it out. So super aggressive, very tight, definitely lives up to being something, you know, collab with Lish Laram, and definitely something Taylor would like and help design. I think it definitely lives up to its graphics. The thing sounds and performs really good. If anyone's familiar with the Black Winters, they're pretty chunky pickups, and I'm not tuned to, you know, E standard. I'm in C sharp, and this thing gets tight, tight. As a matter of fact, I was kind of surprised at first at how tight it got. I actually ended up boosting the bass a little bit and even not using like a ton of that girth. I was keeping it up most of the way, just past 75%. Essentially, I was wanting to keep it tight while retaining some chunky palm mutes, and that was kind of the sweet spot for me. So I would definitely recommend, you know, trying it with maybe boosting up some of the bass actually to get those nice palm mutes, and then just kind of dialing the girth and to kind of close off some of that low end and kind of just, you know, dial it in where it feels right. That way it's tight without being thin and still having those chunky palm mutes. And I think that's cool that this allows you to kind of tone sculpt like that and get it the way that you want it. Now I did pump the mid-range a bit, basically just wanted to get some extra cut, aggression, some pick attack. And then on the top end, the high end control, I ended up actually cutting it a little bit because it does go from 4K to 10K, like I said, and that can be pretty bright. And around 4K is, you know, there are some unpleasant frequencies that live there, and that's usually where I would cut. I think that's where most people would actually notch out from some frequencies. So because I'm not going into an amplifier that's rather dark or needs the extra help, I'm going into an EVH. It has plenty of top end and presence on it already. I actually backed that off a bit and kind of just relied on the mid-range giving me the extra cut, and then backing off on that made sure that I wasn't getting too much fizz or any kind of harshness, which again just showed the tonal flexibility of the pedal. I actually ended up pushing the gain a little bit, and as you were able to hear, especially on the clean channel, when this thing was just being used as an overdrive, you know, at low gain, you're not actually getting a lot of breakup. It almost seems like it's just kind of adding a little bit of extra crunch, you know, kind of pushing things even a little bit harder. So I liked having just a little bit on that, just to kind of get a little bit more saturation when I was boosting. But then of course, if you wanted more, you could really drive that. And that gate absolutely does its job. There wasn't a bunch of extra noise or anything like that. Everything stayed nice and quiet. And as you're able to hear, if you like turn that thing up, it'll just start cutting off everything entirely. It's a pretty powerful gate. So I think that about covers all of the features. I think it's a pretty awesome overdrive. Definitely sounded really killer with my EVH. I'm gonna have a link down below if you want to check this out. As of now, this is their first pedal, but I know they have other stuff planned, and you should definitely you know, keep an eye out for those in the future, because this is super well made, which everything from Lish Laram is. But if you're looking for a really good, super tonally flexible overdrive, this will definitely get you there in spades. But I would love to know your opinions and thoughts. You can leave those comments down below. But thanks for watching. Stay metal.